On a bitter winter morning, Thomas, an elderly man with a weathered face and torn coat, sat quietly on a park bench. Snow fell softly around him as people rushed by, barely noticing the cardboard sign in his lap, looking for work. "We'll do anything." Each breath he took was visible in the frosty air, but no warmth came, not from the weather, and not from those passing by. Day after day, Thomas waited in silence, clinging to a sliver of hope that someone might see more than just a beggar. One morning, a young boy named Eli walked by, holding a sandwich his mother had packed for lunch. He stopped, looked at Thomas, and offered the sandwich without a word. That simple act of kindness lit something inside Thomas, a feeling long forgotten. Inspired, Thomas began collecting scraps of wood and, with great effort, built a small shelter for others like him. He called it Poor Man's Home. Soon, the community began to notice. People brought food, clothes, and paint. The shelter became a symbol of compassion. Eli's small gesture had sparked a chain of kindness, proving that even the smallest act can change a life and a community forever. As the morning crowd rushed past, eyes fixed on their phones and feet hurrying to warm places, one small figure slowed down. Eli, a 10-year-old boy with a worn backpack and a foil-wrapped sandwich in hand, noticed Thomas sitting alone on the park bench. He stopped a few steps ahead, glancing back. Something tugged at his heart. After a brief hesitation, Eli turned and walked toward the old man. Thomas looked up, surprised. His hands, calloused and shaking from the cold, reached out as Eli gently offered the sandwich. Their eyes met Thomas's, weary and hollow, Eli's wide and full of quiet compassion. "Mom says everyone deserves a warm meal," Eli whispered, his voice barely rising over the wind. Thomas couldn't speak. He simply nodded, tears forming as he clutched the simple gift. In that moment, two strangers, separated by years, circumstance, and the noise of the world, shared something powerful: humanity. It wasn't just food Eli gave. It was recognition, warmth, dignity. The boy walked away without waiting for thanks, unaware that his small act would soon become the turning point in a man's life and the seed of something far greater. A few days had passed since Eli offered Thomas the sandwich. As he walked to school with his mother, he glanced toward the park bench out of habit, but it was empty. The old man was gone. In his place, a small, hand-carved wooden sign hung gently in the breeze: "Thank you. You gave me more than food, you gave me hope." Eli stopped in his tracks, eyes wide, heart full. Just beyond the trees, near the edge of the park, a new sight unfolded. There was Thomas, clean, focused, and alive with purpose, hammering nails into a small shelter made from discarded wood and salvaged materials. His hands still trembled, but now with determination, not despair. A handwritten note was pinned to the wooden door of the shelter. Once just a few wooden planks, now stood proudly at the park's edge. Laughter echoed as neighborhood children dipped their brushes in paint, coloring the walls with bright hues and handprints. Adults came by with bags of clothes, blankets, and warm smiles. A community that once walked by in silence now stood together in support. Eli gently climbed a small stool and hung a sign above the doorway. It read, "Kindness lives here." Beside him, Thomas sat on the steps of the shelter, no longer a forgotten soul, but a symbol of resilience. Around him, others who had once been homeless found a safe place, a warm meal, and someone to talk to. The boy's small gesture had sparked something bigger than he could have imagined. Where once there was loneliness and cold, now stood warmth, unity, and hope. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness can build more than just shelter. It can build hope, dignity, and a new beginning. Final message, on screen. One sandwich. One moment. One world changed. Kindness costs nothing, but means everything.